Okay, so me and Simon are out here by ourselves. Hi, buddy. He's so cute. And we snapped ourselves in, but you see he's standing here on a loose rein just waiting for me. You're the cutest guy. Aren't you? Okay. So he's never been on these trails before, so this is the first time going out. And we start off going downhill, which is hard because they're not, warmed up yet. But he's doing fine. He's not thinking about the other horses or anything. He's just like, okay, let's just go. Now we're on the trail. So this guy, he's super fun, super safe. He's got a shorter stride, so if you're used to walking horses, this is a much shorter stride, but pretty sure-footed. We'll see how he goes. Care at all that he's out here all by himself. Okay, so now we're going down a little bit of a steeper hill. And sometimes people don't know to help their horses. When you go downhill, sit back, keep your weight kind of back in your seat bones, but push down on your stirrups and get your body back, because it's hard enough for them to go down the hill. But if you're leaning forward and unbalanced, you can make your horse unbalanced. I need just something to talk about while we watch him go down the hill. But he's doing good. He's shortening his step. He kind of crisscrossed over to keep us, safe and slow. And so I'm not really having a half halt much going down the hill, which is good. So now it's going to go uphill. Cool. Lots of rocks on our trails. So he's pretty easy to get going. He's not like a dud. Even though he's safe, you don't have to put much leg on him to get him to go. He'll just go if you ask him. And then if he's hitting rocks like that, he's not losing his balance or anything. So let's steer along the trees. Good job. And he doesn't, if I put my hand up here or drop the reins, he's not running around. And again, you don't really want to ride gaited horses like this because, most horses like this on the trail, because if something jumps out, they're going to be long gone before you know what's going on. I know. Simon's like, is there a bear up there? Maybe. But he's not acting afraid or anything like that. He's very brave. On the gaited horses, it's especially when they're gaiting, like he's flat walking, which is in a regular horse's extended walk. You want to keep your reins short enough that if they start going faster out of gate, you can half halt, or up here there's sometimes cows, so if the cows jump out, you're ready for it, not oblivious, because each horse is different. Some won't react, but some will. Again, for being on a new trail. He's never been on the Folsom Lake trails, but he's doing really, really well. There's the cows straight ahead of us. Sometimes you can't see stuff on the camera. Oh, what's that sign? Now Simon's good. I've had him buy cows. I don't know if the people had him who owned them buy cows, but we've seen them before, haven't we? There's a big cow behind the tree. Hi, buddy. I don't know if you can see him, but Simon don't care. Go this way. He's like, don't you want to see the cows? No, we're showing enough. Okay, go. So he's still doing great all by himself. The cows are screaming. He didn't care. Simon, I would describe as a very trustworthy horse. He's going to take care of you as much as he can. You know, he's on the smaller size. He's 15 hands. He might look bigger, but he's kind of short and compact. And so he needs someone who'll kind of fit him. But he's fine to ride. You saw he just got caught on that rock, but he was totally fine. So right now my legs are off. He slowed down a little bit. Right? But he otherwise just keeps going, which is nice. But I'd trust him with most anybody. Like if I had a guest and they didn't know how to ride, I'd just put him on and stick him behind me. He's that kind of horse, you know, where you just get on and you just feel safe, like they're not going to do anything stupid. I wish they were all like that. But they're not. But you see, I can still go like this. So I'm just going to ride on a totally loose rein just so you see he's not going to run away or do anything. Good job, buddy. He's happy to be back in work and having a job, right? So there's a boat in the lake up there playing music, and I don't think he's ever seen a boat in a lake before. So I'm just letting him look. He's not nervous or anything, but I want you to see what he does. And something weird or out of the ordinary is there. So he's still looking with his left eye. Remember, this is how they see and this is how they focus, is they turn their head side to side and they move their head up and down. So if they're scared, you know, or acting like they're going to turn and run away, I won't let them do it. But if they're just turning their head and standing still, they're just trying to focus and see what it is. See, so he moved himself and he's like, food, treats. Well, if you're ready to eat a branch, goofball, take that with us, then you're not scared. So some horses I let look around, some I don't, depending on the horse's courage. So Simon usually looks at it and he goes, oh, okay, it's just a weird thing in the water, I'm fine with that. Where other horses, you know, spook themselves, so I might not let them look. That's what he does. He doesn't spook much. When he does, it's usually in place. Sometimes there's stuff on these trails, sometimes there's not, so we'll see. But knock on wood, I've never had him buck, rear, spin, or anything, but it can happen to any horse if it's scary enough. It still can happen even with the best, right? You hear something? He's like, if you'd be quiet, I could hear something. pick up his speed or do anything bad. So you won't be able to see once we get up here, but there's kind of a rock we have to step over. So the horses that aren't paying attention usually clock that rock. And then I can hear construction or something going on up here. So he's just being cautious. There's another rock we gotta go around. Good boy. And then there's a pipe coming up that we're going to go over right by this bush on the left. So here's the pipe. See if he does anything. Nope. Good boy. I don't care about pipes. So I just have a light contact on him. With him you can kind of have a little loop in the reins. You just want your reins short enough when you're on trail that you can steer. Lots of people want to ride with super long reins. It's kind of dangerous because if something jumps out, you got no control. It's like taking your hands off the wheel. You ride the bike and a car darts out in front of you, you know. Seconds count. So you can always give the horses a break and let them put their heads down, but you should keep your reins otherwise kind of short so you have control. And just keep your arms kind of forward. You're not pulling on them. So we got a root up here that he's going to step over. And he's kind of looking at the house. So let's just see what he does if he pays attention to the root. And he did. Now we're going down on rocks. There's nothing up there. So I let them put their head down if they need to see. Go down the rocks. Remember, they don't see the same as us. So when I'm going down stuff, I'll just let my reins get longer so they can put their head down and see it better, and then I just shorten back up. And that's a good exercise to do, you know, especially when you got a good horse like this, is get used to, you know, this is the buckle when they say you're riding on the buckle. So hold the buckle, pull your hand up, and then grab your reins with the other hand and then go to two hands. And just practice doing that. So up, grab your reins, two hands, and that way you get quick at grabbing your reins. So if you do have them long for a bit and you know something happens, you can get those reins back again. Look, I'm always teaching. I can't even just show the horse and be quiet. All right, let's give the people a break. I'm going to go a little bit faster. I'm just going to squeeze with both legs. There we go. He's got a nice little gait. Now with the fox trotters, you feel a soft bounce in the saddle when they're gaiting. So as they're going, you're just ready with your half halt. If it feels like they're getting bouncier, that you just half halt, and then that'll keep them out of the trot. You can keep, now the boat's moved, it's over here. So you're just trying to, when you gait these horses, you know, he's nicely gaited, he knows what he's supposed to do, but if a person rides him and has no clue about gaited, that's how you can mess them up. So if you want the reins short, and just as you go, when he's flat walking, you'll get a little back and forth motion, his head goes up and down, and then when he fox trots, his head still goes up and down, but you get a soft bounce in the saddle like your horse is doing a quarter horse jog, except you're going faster. But that's what it should feel like. Let's see if we have any other spots we can go a little faster. So the boat's off to the left, so he's listening to it, but that's about it. Let's go a little faster. See, he's got a cute gait. So he's not super speedy, but he's fun and he's safe. If you're looking for an extremely fast horse, this is not it. But if you're looking for something that'll move out and be fun to ride and you're safe, that's Simon. He's a fun guy. And the people who had him were riding him all the time. So this is with time off, and he's this good. So he's a horse that can sit some. And, you know, get on and ride. And how fun his gait is. So, and that's what happens when I throw the reins away and he's gaiting. Nothing. He's just kept gaiting. Okay, now we're going downhill again. So you sit back, put the weight down in your stirrups, sit back on your seat pockets. And if the horse is going faster, it feels like it's getting on its front end, you half halt as you go down the hill. So I'm going to give one half halt, because then I got to duck under these trees as we're going downhill. That's hard on the horse. They're trying to go downhill and you're leaning forward. This time I want to go a little faster. No, not really, Gaye. It's fun, so let's go faster. So those of you used to trotting horses sometimes go on a fox trot or fox trotter horse, which, because not lots of horses can fox trot, not just fox trotters, is easier because you're used to that feel and you know what a trot feels like. So there's a pipe coming up again. So that way, if it gets bouncy, you're like, oh, they're trotting, and you just slow it down. Okay? So sometimes that's easier. It's more similar to what you know. And if you like to be on a little bit of a looser rein, not all walking horses can go on looser reins because we need a fair amount of collection, usually. But the fox trotters can. And the Rockies can, but when the Rockies are going faster, unless somebody's worked with them a lot, you usually have a little bit tighter rein when you're gaiting them versus the fox trotters. Okay, so we're going to go a little faster. There's this little gate. You see my reins, they're short, but I have a loop in them because I'm testing them to see, are you going to come out of gate? But no, he's doing great. He can also rack. Besides foxtrot, and to rack him, you just kind of lift his head up. And then we'll see if we can find this spot to canter. It's hard because there's rocks on here, right? You don't want to be cantering over rocks, smashing your feet. So when there's lots of rocks, it's safer to gate versus canter. So I'm just pushing my hand forward so again I see what he does. He's speeding up a little bit, but he's staying smooth. Oh, he's such a good boy. Good job. So I just stopped to give him a break. He got a little cookie. And we're just standing by ourselves. We're on a loose rein. Okay? And he's just hanging out. Good boy. Somebody trained you really well. That would be me. So, but it's not just training, it's temperament. He has an awesome temperament. Just a good guy. Okay, so this goes uphill a little bit. So I'm going to see if there's a lot of rocks. So let's lift his head up and see if he'll rack a little bit. There's his rack. Good job. So now I'm just going to let him relax again. We're on a bunch of rocks. So it's nice. He'll go faster, then he'll walk like this. Right? So, but I'm alone. I'm not riding with a bunch of crazy people doing insanity things, because that can make any horse nuts. So remember that if your horse is going cuckoo and you keep riding with the same people, sometimes sometimes it's not your horse, it's who you're riding with. Okay, so we're going downhill right now, and then it's going to go uphill. So when I get to the bottom of the hill, I'm going to half halt. I'm going to shift my weight a little bit to the right, and I'm going to ask him to canter with my right leg. And we'll see what he does. I don't know if they can canter him much. Okay, but that's how I'm going to ask for it. Ready, Simon? So I short my reins up. I'm going to half halt, shift my weight to the right. Now my right leg canter. Now we're going to walk. Look, I didn't even pull on the reins. Good job, Simon. Nice canter. So good. So when I got him, he didn't know how to canter. That was some years ago, so I love teaching them to canter, and then they canter so nicely in time. So that was great. I'm going to come up here. So now I'm back on a loose rein. It's quiet. So when I ask them, when I'm flat walking, I just kind of alternate my legs, one leg and then the other, kind of as their belly goes side to side. Or if I'm trying to extend their walk, like get them to take a bigger stride, that's what I do. When I ask him to foxtrot, I'm just kind of keeping his head level or down a little bit, and then I squeeze with both legs. And if I want him to go faster, I squeeze more with both legs. And then I'm just ready to half halt on the rein, which means squeeze and relax. So if it starts getting a little bouncy, you know, then you've hit that top speed for that horse. And so you want to slow it down a little bit. So I do that by half halting. And then when I want him to canter, you know, you could do it from a walk or a foxtrot. I half halt, I shift my weight, and then I ask with that leg. So if I want the left lead, I half halt, shift my weight to the right, and ask him to canter with my right leg. And that would pick up the left lead. So this is going to the left, so that would be the smartest thing to do. If the turn was going to the right, then I'd half halt, shift my weight to the left, and ask for my left leg to get the right lead. So if you know enough, you're trying to help your horse, so you don't want to pick up the wrong lead and then take a turn the opposite way, because that puts your horse off balance. Oh, there's a pool and all sorts of stuff here. Oh, he's looking a little bit, but not bad. So let's go a little faster. You can hear his footfall. Just looking around. This is all construction and new stuff. He hasn't been here before, but he's doing fine. That's why I'm letting him look, because he's not acting like he's going to spook or anything. He's just like, let's check out what's here, lady. Boy. So these are just that little soft bounce in the saddle. And his head's going up and down. Okay, once we get by this tree, so I'll try another little canter. So I'm going to half halt, shift my weight, right leg, canter. And then if I toss the reins away, he's fine. Walk. There's a parking lot up here. Good job. So see, he's not gonna run away if you know what you're doing. So we'll go up this little hill, and I'm just gonna let him go and see how fast he can go. Good job, Simon. Good boy. It's very fun to ride safe horses when people send me crazy horses usually. Fix. So he's doing great. So now we're going down all rocks. He's doing just fine. there's more rocks. Just gonna kind of let him go where he wants to go, see what he does, in case the person riding him doesn't know how to steer or where to go when you're on rocks. Good job. I usually steer the horses normally because our eyes are in front of the head, so I can see better. But if you don't know what you're doing, you let them steer. They know what's best for them. They don't always know what's best for you. That's why I like to steer them. But they know what they can get down, but they don't know, like, oh, you got to duck under a tree to go under that. So steer, but if you're panicked, then let them do it. Don't let him go fast or anything. So he's done very well. He's not done anything weird. He hasn't spooked. Okay, we're headed home. See how fast he is? So we'll see if, as we get closer, if he gets faster. Otherwise, as we took the turn towards home, he didn't speed up or do anything. So now we're getting a little again. Let's go downhill. Let's slow down. It goes down for a little bit. So this is his racking gait. So I got his head up a little bit. And you might see his head going up and down a little bit. Feel the side-to-side motion. Listen to his feet. Okay, now we're going to slow down. Good job. Alright, we got a little uphill here. Good job, buddy. Good boy. So now he's listening to the boat that's driving away over there. But he's just sitting here on loose rein. All right, come on. Let's go home. So we're heading towards home now. Now we're going to go down some rocks and then over a route. Sometimes the horses don't pay attention and they trip, so let's see what he does. Very good, Simon. He says, you were testing me. Yeah, so never missed a step. Okay, so we're still headed towards home. This is just one rein. You might wonder why I have a stick. I always take a stick out with all the horses that are either coming back or first time out on trail, just in case they try anything. Simon didn't, but it's always best to be prepared. If you're not, they'll test you and you'll fail the test. So, but he doesn't need you to ride him with a stick or anything. He's totally fine. Let's try a little neck rein up here. So, I'll use a little bit of leg, but not much. Okay, little neck rein. So we got a downhill and an uphill. The horses on the trotty side like this can go really fast downhill, but I don't let them. I'll go slow. So that way when we speed up we'll have a nice gait. So I'm going to go faster up this. You want a can or something? It's like that's a little weird. But now you see I can go back to a loose rein and he's very controllable. Okay, now we're pretty much back home. So hope you enjoyed the ride on Simon. He's a great horse. Looking for someone not super big for him because he's, again, 15 hands. And he's cutie, very safe, brave, sure-footed, good little gelding.